In wet and muddy conditions, tire selection plays a key factor in your performance. For summer riding, you might get away with a faster rolling, small knob, closely spaced tire, but in the winter it'll pack up with mud. Winter riding, you're going to want a tire with bigger knobs, where the knobs have wider space in between them that'll clear the mud. For wet winter riding, it's a good idea to get a set of sturdy lock-on grips. These won't slip on your bars if any water gets under the grip. In winter, it's going to be a lot darker when you're riding, so make sure that you have a set of lighter colored lenses or photochromatic lenses. Even clear lenses will help. Something like this, or if you're really going for it, a set of goggles is good too. In winter, if you're riding the section that is shaded in the midday sun, it means it's going to stay damp and wet most of the season. It's not going to return to its dry summer conditions. When you have something slippery like this, it's really important to stay squared up with your bike and be as up and down as you can, and not be turning the wheel or be leaned over when riding it. Just because you know a trail when it's dry doesn't mean you know it when it's wet, especially when there's roots, rocks, and bridges involved. Watch out for slippery roots on the trail, especially ones that are angled, not perpendicular to your direction of travel. Roots like this get wet and they can put your bike off the trail one side or the other, causing you to lose balance, perhaps crash. Things can really change when it's wet. A section that's easy when dry, with a little bit of water on it, becomes a lot more difficult. When you've got a complex section that involves rocks, mud, and a turn, you're going to have to use your skill selecting ability to decide what skills in your bag of tricks you're going to have to use. For example, in this section, you might have to use gear selection, line choice, and track standing to help you make it through cleanly. If you're riding a wet downhill section, be really conscious of the fact that the rocks are going to be really wet and slippery. If you're not comfortable riding it, get off your bike and walk the section. If you are comfortable riding it, be aware that your bike is going to be pinging around and deflecting off the rocks as you go down. It's going to be especially important to keep your head up in the attack position with your elbows up and out and stay very loose on the bike. So I've shown you a few wet weather riding tips today, but you're not done until you clean up your equipment after the ride. Bikes are a big investment, so it's important that you give yourself a good wash, get everything cleaned up and lubed before you're ready to hit the trail again.